I found a really, really cool article on bbc.com today, and I wanted to share it with you. I will put the article in the description of this video so you guys can click on it and read it yourself. But it's really, really cool that I know the person this article is talking about, and I'm glad that he and accessible gaming as a whole is being showcased more. And this just kind of reaffirms why I want to continue being a gamer and why I want to strive to be a competitive gamer. So here's this article from bbc.com. Will McCurdy is the author, technology reporter. So in the competitive world of professional gaming, one gamer who goes by the name Rattlehead at the tournament... Sorry, I'm screwing up the reading already. In the competitive world of professional gaming, one gifted player goes by the name Rattlehead. At the tournaments he attends in the US, his opponents quickly spot that he, real name Carlos Vasquez, is by his own description, quote, completely blind. Yes, Carlos is one of the only completely blind gamers in the BFGC. Me, him, and a couple, I think it's one or two other players are totally blind. They then let their guard down, thinking that they are set for an easy game of popular fighting series Mortal Kombat, and he often beats them. Oh yeah. Rattlehead is one of the reasons why I've gotten to where I am in Mortal Kombat gameplay. He will kick your ass around the map, but he will tell you why and how he's kicking your ass around the map and how to stop him from doing so. And he genuinely gets happy when you're able to punish an attack or block him or do what he calls it, do the hit confirms, right? He gets so happy. He's like, yes, you did it. It's awesome. He's a great teacher. Instead of being able to see the game, Carlos instead relies upon hearing it to make his attacking and defensive moves. Quote, I'm able to pick up on the specific sounds of the characters, he says. Yep, that's how we've been playing for years. That's how blind gamers play fighting games. From Houston, Texas, Carlos started playing video games at the age of 6 in 1992. But when he was 11, he was diagnosed with a type of glaucoma, an eye condition that slowly took away his sight. Oh, glaucoma. I didn't actually know what his eye condition was. Quote, it wasn't an overnight situation, says Carlos, now 37. For the first years, I was still able to see rough outlines of objects, but not fully detailed anymore. So, right around his teenage years, he started losing his sight, which has gotta be hard. As someone who's been totally blind since being a baby, I feel lucky that way because I didn't have to struggle with that and becoming a teenager at the same time. That would have been freaking horrible. Quote, but over time, my vision became worse and worse to the point where I was around 24 years old and completely blind. At the time he found most mainstream games were almost impossible to play. Features that help people with any sight impairment to play known as gaming accessibility were not around. Nope. If you wanted to game, you were shit out of luck. Basically, you had your fighting games, and that was it. That was gaming for blind people. Such features include screen readers, where the game verbally describes what is happening. Yep, screen readers, haptic feedback, audio cues for distance. Oh man, tons and tons of stuff is available now. Back in his 20s, Carlos was able to play some fighting games, and in particular, Mortal Kombat. It wasn't because Mortal Kombat had accessibility features. At the time, he says, quote, "It was just because there's players like myself were able to pick up on the distinct sounds. It allowed us to play the game as much as possible." Yeah, you could do like the towers, you could do arcade battles, stuff like that. But if you wanted to do the mission, like the story mode and whatever, you would still need sighted help. Like I have never been able to complete a weapons master mode of Soul Calibur by myself, for example. He recognized that the character who started on the right side of the screen would grunt at a slightly higher pitch than the one on the left. This allowed him to figure out which character he was playing. Yep, you can use that as a determination. If your character sounds different from another character's intro, and it's coming from one side or the other, that's another way. There's plenty of different ways to adapt. Let's see. Games such as Mortal Kombat now typically have features to aid people with impaired vision. I love how they say that. Players with impaired vision. It's okay to say blind. Fast forward to 2023, and a growing number of games have accessibility features, including Forza Motorsport, Diablo 4, The Last of Us, and Street Fighter 6, and the latest edition of Mortal Kombat. Forza Motorsport has a function called Blind Drive Assist, whereby the visually impaired are verbally told of the forthcoming bends on the track and their sharpness. Oh, okay. Various noises or audio cues indicate things such as a car's speed, whether it is facing the wrong way, or when to change gears. Okay, I will give Forza credit. That is cool. Those features are helpful. The fact that it's only an Xbox game, really, to me, that you can't call it the most accessible driving game if it's not a driving game that is available across all platforms. Because then, if it's not, then it's not I don't know. To me, that's just an important thing. For Mortal Kombat, a whole host of additional audio feedback is now available, such as letting you know the distance between fighters, or if an opponent ducks. Yep, you guys have heard me using those features on stream, which, by the way, I have lowered proximity detection, so now it does not click supremely loudly in your ears, so it will be much more entertaining to listen to. Forza Motorsport also includes the latest development in games accessibility, the increased use of a technology called spatial audio. Yes, spatial audio is huge. Spatial audio is a huge help in sound accessibility for blind and visually impaired people. And it's really it's really cool that there are now professors involved in game accessibility, learning how to audio engineer for people with accessibility concerns specifically. I love that this is a thing that is happening. The article continues to say, 7 years ago, the Able Gamers charity campaign for more computer games that can be played by people with disabilities asked game developer Rockstar how much it would cost to make its Grand Theft Auto 5 title accessible. Oh, Rockstar. The firm is reported to have replied that it would cost a whopping $128 million, or 100 million British pounds, which it considered too expensive. First of all, I think that it inflated the price just specifically so that it could say it's too expensive. Like, screw you, Rockstar, seriously. I think Rockstar is doing this on purpose so they don't have to be accessible. And that's sad. As a result of this, an independent software developer called Liam Urban decided to rise to the challenge and develop a software add-on also known as a mod to make Grand Theft Auto more playable for people with impaired vision. Liam, who has been blind since birth, I also know Liam Irvin, he's another blind player, another blind gamer, who is set to work with a team of collaborators, to create their mod, which is called Grand Theft Accessibility. Features they were able to add include sound clues to give characters of information or players information about nearby objects, vehicles, and pedestrians. Users also get audio feedback about their location and direction and what weapon they have selected. And it was all done for a fraction of the cost estimated by Rockstar. Of course it was, because, as I said, I think Rockstar padded that estimate on purpose just so they could go, sorry, too expensive. You're not a market we want to tailor to, you're not a market we want to court. Liam said that while the add-on, quote, isn't anywhere near perfect, it is still, quote, really fun to play and has garnered a solid user base. Well, of course. You can't, this is why any of those other mods, I know that the Hearthstone accessibility mod before Blizzard actually got its head out of its ass and gave the blind community an accessible Hearthstone, there was a bunch of people using that. I know that there's somebody else who's trying to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Accessible. Accessible gaming is really becoming a very important and known and talked about thing. And that's really important to me. And that's why I really, especially with MK1 and everything that's coming out now, I want to be part of the accessible gaming community even more. And this is why I'm pushing myself to be competitive in MK1. And I can't wait to see where all of this goes. It's amazing to be alive in the time of watching games go from impossible to play to the fact that there's a playable Diablo for blind people. I can't believe I get to witness this, and I feel really lucky that I get to witness this. So, well done, Carlos, for getting recognition in the BBC. This is a great article. and I just wanted to do a video about it to talk about accessible gaming and highlight this article and just be glad that I get to be alive during the advent of accessible gaming. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.